So here we are again then, back at Triumph in Plymouth. We're going to try to find a bit better road this time than when we did the Speed Twin, because that was just frustrating. And today we're taking this bad girl out. Look at this. Whoa, it sounds good just with a stock exhaust. I have been looking forward to riding one of these for a very long time. So let's get into it. As I said, we're back at Triumph in Plymouth, and for me, I've just jumped off the Speed Twin 1200 for 2024. For you guys, this is a completely different video because we are now taking out the 1290 superduke GT. This, I believe, is a 2019, which is a shame because I would like to have one with the better dash, as it were. This is just such an old bloody dash. It's got everything you need in the dash, I have to say, but it's just a little bit, yeah, as they say. And the guy at Triumph didn't actually know how to set anything up. He said, look, we don't deal with KTMs, this came in as a Part X, so I can't tell you what anything does, how to change anything. I'm like, okay, that's cool. We've got bugger all petrol. Looks like it might rain in a minute, but we'll have a bit of fun, I guess. Now this screen does go up and down, but because someone's got what looks like a phone mount on the front of there, I'm not quite sure how you do that. I mean, this isn't the bike I'm going to buy, I wouldn't think, because it's got no luggage. But as I said in the previous video, I'm thinking about doing a Part X deal with the Honda and the Suzuki GSX against another bike, and I'm considering the BMW 1250 GS or one of these, because I've had 2 or 3 of the Multistradas now, and I fancy something just a little bit different, but you know, something characterful, as it were. And you know, I like my V-twins and my triples and that kind of good stuff, so we thought we'd try a KTM, the keeps taking money bike, as they call them. The switchgear is enormous. That's one of the first things I notice, is the switchgear here is really fat. I don't know if that's just me, but it just looks enormous. Gear indicator there by the looks of things. I'm not sure if this one's got the quick shifter, but they do come with a quick shifter as part of the tech pack, I believe, but you have to have it enabled. The ongoing saga of KTM in there. Oh, let's just charge you for something that's already on the bike, and we'll plug it in, and within 30 seconds, that's 800 quid. Thanks, KTM. Anyway, I digress. This one's got some lovely handguards as well. I'd like to see those on the ones I buy. As I said, today we're going to try and find a bit of a better road to open this up with, and then we'll jump off and have a little look around, and I'll let you know what I think. So far, it's a bit agricultural, if I'm honest. The gear change is really hard compared to the Speed Twin. I mean, you'd want to be wearing boots to change it because, I mean, I don't mean it's clunky. I mean, it's actually physically hard to change gear. I don't know where this guy thinks he's going, indicating left. And it tips in not quite the way you'd expect. I'm not sure how you even change modes on this bloody bike, to be honest, but we'll find out, I'm sure, at some point. We're in street at the moment, because that's as it came to us. But to be honest, I'm not here really today to find out how fast this is. I know it's a fast bike, everyone knows it's a fast bike. I'm here to find out if it suits me as a bike that I'd like to go out with at weekends, but I could also jump on and then have a bit of fun. Right, well, it's got a quick shifter, but as I said, my toe, let me just close that down a minute. My toe is actually getting hurt changing gear. That's a really, really stiff gearbox. Very agricultural, as I said. Right, let's open this up. So what's it like on the motorway? Nice, really, really nice. I mean, we're doing 4,000 revs, 75 miles an hour, and if you go too slow in top gear, it really does vibrate a lot. But as soon as you get above 70 in top gear, everything smooths out. It's almost like a BMW. Yeah, very, very impressed. I think I could ride this for quite a while. As I've said previously, I think this is a bit agricultural. It's not as refined as the Multistrada or the 1200 GS from BMW, that's for sure. Nowhere near so. The seating position is a little bit canted forward again. I cannot see any indication that I'm indicating, which is a bit odd. I'm assuming I am. Oh, right, there it is. That was all a bit confusing. I mean, it's something I'm going to have to get used to, effectively, isn't it? But that was a little motorway ride. Let me just flip this up a sec. That was our quick little motorway ride, and yeah, I think I could sit on this for quite a while, if I'm honest. I don't imagine there'd be any problem doing a couple of 100 miles a day on this. It's a little bit canted forward. I'm sure you could probably get bar rises if you wanted to. Brakes are, yeah, very, very good brakes. Very impressed with that. Yeah, those brakes are absolutely spot on. as good as the Triumph and as good as the Multistrada, and much better than the GS, truth be known. As I was saying, we've got all sorts of stuff going on here as well. I don't know what it is because the guy didn't set it up for me. We've also got cruise control, as I'm sure you know if you've been looking at one of these bikes. I'm not quite sure what any of this does. It doesn't, oh, here we are. Trips, general info, TPMS, set your favourites, settings. I'd like to come out of there if I'm honest, but I'm not sure how to. So those are your favourites, I guess. I don't know. It's something I'd have to get into. I guess you've got your fuel range. You've got the date for whatever bloody reason. But that, I imagine, is as somebody set it up for themselves. They wanted those kind of functions on there. You can set it up for yourself, I imagine. He's got oil temperature, which is useful. The mileage, which I guess is useful. Fuel range, which is very useful, of course. It does have a fuel gauge as well, of course. Dampening, he's got it on there. And the mileage, the date. I don't know why anybody would want to see the date constantly. But as I said, you can change those around. And you can also just pop into any of the other little menus here as well. General info, again the date, very odd. But as I said, if I bought one, I'd have to set it up for what I want to see on there. But yeah, I'm actually pleasantly surprised. The seat is as hard as everybody tells you it is. There's no getting around that. You could get the comfort seat, of course. That would sort that out. And I think, if I'm honest, I would have to. So if I'm going to buy one of these, I'm going to have to budget for the fact that I'm going to need a comfort seat, which is a couple of £100. Because I don't think I could do this on long journeys. But it's not awful, it's just, you know, it could be a lot more comfortable. And if you want to do a couple of 100 miles, of course, you don't want to, you know, get off every 100 miles. Or if you were doing, as I say, if you're doing 300 or 400 miles in a day, you don't want to get off every 100 miles because your bum's kind of gone numb. So a comfort seat might be the way to go. The only negative so far that I've seen with this is purely and simply the gear change. Going up is incredibly hard. You've got the quick shifter, of course, but it's far harder than any bike of this size I've had to change gear on, ever, I think. I mean, I have got my RST boot shoes on, as it were. You know, they have got a little pad at the front for changing gear, but, you know, it's not reinforced. So I think possibly that's where you need to be. You need to get a pair of boots on with a decent gear changing kind of reinforced toe bit, as it were, and then you'll be fine, or you just get used to it. But for me right now, it could just be that I've just gotten off the Speed Twin, which the gear change on there is like butter, and you just need to get used to this. But it actually physically hurts my big toe to change gear on. That's my only negative so far. I'd love to be able to get this bloody screen up. I think it's up. Yeah, there we are. Out and up. See if that makes any difference on the motorway on the way back, if I can work out how to get back. But so far, as I said, yeah, this is quite impressive. It's given me a lot to consider. I mean, if you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know I hate grey and black on a dash, on a car, on a bike, anything. I just think it's pants. And this is 2019, this bike, for God's sake. There's no real excuse for it. Money saving, I guess. But that's the two negatives that I've found personally. The gear change on my big toe, which is probably a personal thing and then could be quite easily sorted out. And the dash, I don't particularly like the dash, but you know, it's all personal preference, isn't it? We're going to head back to Plimpton and give the bike back, and I'll close that and let you know my thoughts. We'll have a little walk around and have a good look at this bike before we give the keys back. So I'll chime back in when we're back to Plimpton. As I said, we'll have a little walk around and I'll show you the bike and give you my final thoughts. So we're back in Plimpton after our little jaunt up the A38 again. Yeah, I really like this actually. I am pleasantly surprised. But again, a couple of little negatives, which are the gear change is bloody hard and the dash is bloody boring. And the screen is a bit pants, if I'm honest. It was louder, oddly enough, in the up position coming back down the A38 than it was with no screen on my GSX 1400, which I rode in on, which is a bit odd, but I'm sure there are workarounds, like there are workarounds for the gear change as well. Maybe I just need to get some better boots or something, but you shouldn't have to buy, reinforced boots to change gear on a motorcycle, should you? And the right-hand indicator doesn't actually seem to even bloody work on this bike. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, I digress. Let's get this bike parked up, and then I'll give you a little walk around. So there she is, guys. That is the Superduke GT 2019, I believe this one is, and it's a handsome bike. I got to say, it's one of those bikes that you can look back at and think, that's nice, I like that. Whereas the Speed Twin didn't give me that vibe. The Multistrada did, the GS didn't, and this does. So I'm seriously considering this, even though the seat is rock hard, the gear change is rock hard, the dash is boring as hell, and the wind protection isn't great. I just love the look of it. I think it looks absolutely stunning. If you know anything about these bikes, you'll know it's got cornering lights, it's got LED headlights, it's got, I think, 6-axis IMU. It's got so much tech inside there. People do put these down because they are kind of renowned for keeps taking money. They say that's what KTM stands for. But I got to say, I've enjoyed my ride on it. I've been pleasantly surprised, and I think I may actually be bringing one of these to the channel, but with luggage, of course. It's just the little touches, you know. Well, I might get rid of this, but I love this rear light. I like the fact that it's got a really funky looking rear grab rail. I like the fact that the luggage kind of slots into there, but you'd never know. I like the way it's got a nice fat front end. I do like a fat front end. That shock absorber looks like a lot of fun down there as well. Huge fat back tyre as well. All the things that I like. It's got Brembo monoblock calipers. It's got traction control, ABS, all the kind of good stuff, and it sounds glorious. I think if you put a can on here, you would have a lot of fun. I mean, just that aspect there is it's a sexy bike, and I do like a sexy bike. So I think this might be a bike that's coming to the channel at some point. If you've enjoyed this video and you've got any comments, please put those in the comment section below. Consider subscribing, give the video a like, a share, a thumbs up, all that kind of good stuff. It really, really helps the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. And if you do subscribe, of course, you will find out if we get one of these on the channel. But so far, I'm kind of leaning towards this. I have to say, I'm very, very impressed, as much so as I was with the Multistrada. If I had a choice, I would say I would choose the Multistrada 1260S over this, purely for the dash, and the gear change is far simpler. But, you know, apart from that, it's a sexy bike, I gotta say. Anyway, as I said, please consider subscribing, give the video a like, a share, a thumbs up, all that kind of good stuff from Budget Cars and Bikes. That is it for this one. We've enjoyed ourselves, and I'm going to go and hand back the keys. All right, guys, take care. Thanks for watching.